Hey guys, Danila here. So, if you don't already know, Angelfish dumped me. I'm cool with saying he dumped me. It was ridiculous. Okay, so got a really long text message and he was just complaining about like the most random things. So before we were official, I wrote him a letter and sent it, whatever, but I didn't get there till like later. So I got there after we were official because it got lost in the mail or something. And then when we had been together for a while, at some point before we were official, I saw him at his job and he was writing with a fountain pen. So later, I saw a fountain pen and was just like, oh, I bet he'd like this. So I bought it for him, got a card, wrote in it, whatever. Just thought it was something nice to do, right? So apparently doing those things was me shoving our relationship down his throat, okay? That's what he told me. I was shoving our relationship down his throat because I was doing nice things, because I had no issues. Apparently, I like to give gifts. Love giving gifts. So I see things that people might like and I buy it for them. That's it. That's what I do. So he apparently had an issue with that. And then I have anxiety. I've said it in previous videos. And I also told him on our first date that I have anxiety. So I was super anxious meeting his mom. And I was so anxious that I couldn't speak. I was so shy and I was just like, I don't know what to say to this woman. I don't want her to hate me. Apparently that made her hate me. And he brought up how he met my mom and he was just like, oh, that was uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, being uncomfortable and having anxiety are not the same thing. It just made me so mad. You just minimized what I was going through. I was not just uncomfortable. I was ridiculously anxious. I couldn't even put together coherent thoughts in my head. Whatever. So that was some of the problems. And then, the fact that we had talked on the phone days before he dumped me. And I had said something about being comfortable with my weight. And he's like, you're comfortable with your weight? I'm not comfortable with my weight. I want to lose weight. You can be comfortable with your weight and still want to lose weight. I don't hate myself when I look in the mirror. I love me. I'm happy with me. And apparently he's not. So he said something about when he looks in the mirror, he hates what he sees. But that's not on me. And why would you want me to feel that way? So he made comments about how I shouldn't be comfortable with my weight because I'm overweight. Bitch, I've been overweight most of my life. This is nothing new. I love me. That's what matters. Whatever. And I've been losing weight. I've actually been working out and eating right. And he wants to talk about me? Okay, you eat out every fucking day. I never see you do any kind of workout. You never talk about doing any kind of, no, take that back. You talk about it, but you never do any fucking workout. But you have the nerve to be talking about me and I shouldn't be comfortable with my weight. If you're so uncomfortable with your weight, why aren't you doing something about it? That's how I feel. So yeah, it was ridiculous. The things that he was saying were just so stupid. And I'm just at the end of it, cause he texted me first and I texted him back. I did respond to the first text where he was telling me he was dumping me. And he said, oh gosh, one of his other complaints was that I was talking about a place. I was talking about a place, and he said that that's the only thing we have in common, and that's why I talk about it. And I was just like, no, we're talking about it because that's where I spend my time. I'm telling you about my day. It was my job. I'm like, that's where I spend my time. So I was just telling you about my day, and this is where my day took place because this is where I was. So when you ranted about your job endlessly, every phone call in the morning, I never said anything. I let you. You needed to vent. I let you vent. But when I want to talk about my job, you're saying that I'm only talking about it because it's the only thing we have in common. And I'm just like, whatever. So that happened. And then I was fine. And I was just like, okay. He called me later and said some even more horrible things to me. And I was just like, okay. Okay, that's fine. Got off the phone, haven't spoken to him since, because why would I? I was just in disbelief of the whole thing. It was just ridiculous. It was he was digging for excuses, and that was the best he could come up with. Say no more. So, yeah, that's all over. But, okay, so funny story. So I have been going on walks. I walk 3 days a week, same path I used to walk, way back when I was doing my videos from the other apartment that I have in Colorado. So I like to go over there to walk because I used to walk that path every day, so I know it. So I go over there to walk. And before we broke up, when we'd be on the phone, he'd be doing his job or whatever. And we're going to use fake things here, but he'd be like, oh, I'm coming into Arendelle. And then he'd drive off somewhere else and be like, oh, I'm coming into Weaselton. Never thought anything of it. Except for I'm walking yesterday and I see a sign and it's like Weaselton. And I'm like, how have I never noticed that sign? Like, I've been walking past here forever and I feel like this fence has been here forever. How did I never notice that sign? I just never paid attention to it. So then I'm looking and he drives a truck, for those of you that don't know. So I keep walking, doing my thing. And what I do is I walk at least 1.25 miles and then I turn around and come back. Sometimes I'll go further, but I always go at least 1.25 miles. That way I get 2.5 miles by the time I'm done. So I walk and I turn around and come back, and that's when I see the trucks and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where he's been coming. He's probably over there. Oh my gosh, he's gonna think I'm stalking him. And so many things in my head. So I'm on my walk and what do? I call my friend because I'm just like, you are not gonna believe this, girl. I found Weaselton. I wasn't even looking for Weaselton. And like when I read it, it was like the whole memory just popped in my head and I'm like, how did I not? Like how? And then I was like, I think I need to change my walking path. I don't want him to think I'm over here trying to get a glimpse of him. I am not coming to Weaselton to see you. This is where I used to walk like all the time. This is my area that I like to be in. So I'm not actually changing my walking path. And if he thinks that, I don't care. He can go to hell. So yeah, it was pretty hilarious though when I found out. So just wanted to share that with y'all. In other news, before we broke up, by the way, he was Angelfish. I think we're going to go ahead and call him Angelfart. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else did. Angelfart. So before we broke up, this other guy that would call me at work all the time, he still calls actually, he actually, it's funny because Angelfart, the job he had where he would call me for clearance every morning, and then we didn't actually start dating till after he quit that job. The guy that replaced him calls for clearance every morning and tried to give me his number while me and Angelfart were still together. Athena. And so he wanted me to take his number down so we could talk or whatever. And I was like, I can't, I have a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. But I still talk to this dude every morning for clearance. And today I may have finally given him my number. So we're already moving on. And we'll see what happens. And then I've also got a vacation coming up, which I'm super excited about. So going to Las Vegas, and then we're gonna drive to California from there to go to Disney. But also because I am a huge Charmed fan, we're gonna make sure to go to Los Angeles so that I can go see this house and get a picture in front of this house. Because I really, really want a picture in front of this house. Like, I think I'm more excited to get a picture in front of this house than anything else, okay? Super, super exciting. So I've got to do more shopping tomorrow. We're going to do more of that. I've got stuff coming in the mail today. Actually, I've got stuff coming in the mail pretty much till we leave for the trip. But whatever. So, yay! All good things, guys. Good things coming my way. That's really it. I feel like that was quite a bit. I think I may have been talking too fast. Let me know if I was talking too fast, and I apologize if I was. But that's it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember that this has been a true story.